Ciao a tutti, benvenuti, ben ritrovati a questo nuovo appuntamento all'insegna dell'ufologia e del mistero su UFO News GL. Oggi torniamo a parlare di fenomeno delle abduction e lo faremo con un caso statunitense in specifico, il rapimento di William Herrmann, avvenuto nel 1977 dopo che ebbe modo di fotografare diversi oggetti volanti non identificati, quindi UFO, a Charleston in Sud Carolina, ed è questo uno dei casi più famosi, più indagati, più conosciuti negli Stati Uniti d'America. Chi era Herrmann? Un uomo comune che affermò di essere stato rapito mentre stava tornando a casa dopo una serata con gli amici. Continuava a guardare il cielo a caccia di UFO, questo è quello che lui racconta, così come ormai era sua abitudine fare. Era il 18 marzo 1977. Si trovava in un campo per camper, ovviamente con il suo veicolo e con la moglie e gli amici, anch'essi con i loro veicoli per soggiornare. Mezzi ovviamente fatti apposta per stare in quel luogo dove stavano villeggiando e spesso osservavano proprio questi oggetti volanti non identificati che erano diventati praticamente un'abitudine. E proprio quel giorno un oggetto esattamente come gli altri visti e fotografati di colore rosso che ormai conoscevano benissimo attira l'attenzione dei presenti e comincia a zizzagare facendo dei triangoli, proprio li disegna letteralmente nel cielo sopra i pali della luce a distanza che sono visibili dal parcheggio e decide quindi di lasciare i presenti incuriosito dalla cosa andare incontro a quell'oggetto con la sua auto e si allontana per circa 14-15 chilometri dal parcheggio dei caravan, la moglie e gli amici e quindi dal luogo dove era a villeggiare. Secondo il suo racconto, un oggetto volante non identificato lo avrebbe attratto con una luce abbagliante. Non è, diciamo, lecito e preciso sapere se si tratta dello stesso oggetto che stava osservando o di un oggetto che sarebbe invece spuntato improvvisamente e di cui lui non si era accorto. Viene investito da un raggio di colore blu mentre l'oggetto gli piomba addosso e viene paralizzato e poi il buio totale. Sviene e si risveglierà a distanza di ore. Una volta a bordo, Herrmann descrive di essere stato sottoposto a diversi esami medici da parte di esseri alieni, che lui definisce dalla pelle grigia con grandi occhi neri e che quindi sono riconducibili a quegli alieni grigi che spesso fanno parte della cronaca dei rapimenti alieni un po' in tutto il mondo, ma soprattutto negli Stati Uniti. Naturalmente li definisce degli alieni umanoidi. Durante il rapimento sembra che Herrmann ebbe delle visioni o gli furono fatte avere delle visioni di paesaggi alieni tramite comunicazioni telepatiche, quindi proiezioni mentali, non attraverso uno schermo come in epoca più moderna, negli ultimi decenni, viene spesso in qualche modo utilizzato come metodo, anche se più in presenza di umanoidi di tipo nordico e di tipo orange. Dopo un periodo di tempo che sembrava sempre di più dilatarsi, così viene raccontato dal testimone, si ritrova nuovamente nel suo veicolo confuso e spaventato. Naturalmente poi verrà sottoposto ad indagini, ad investigazioni, ad esami medici e ad ipnosi regressive. Il suo racconto suscita immediatamente un interesse di ufologi, di scienziati, di medici, di ipnologi, portando queste indagini approfondite sul caso che includevano anche appunto le sedute di ipnosi regressiva di cui vi mostrerò a breve una parte documentaristica subito dopo aver esaminato altre due parti documentaristiche dove proprio gli ufologi e coloro che si occuparono di effettuare l'investigazione rilasciano la propria opinione e ci raccontano maggiori dettagli, così come sarebbero emersi proprio dai racconti di Herrmann e naturalmente delle ipnosi regressive fatte a William. Il caso di William Herrmann diventa quindi e rimane nel tempo un esempio emblematico delle narrazioni dei rapimenti alieni, ma anche un caso parzialmente irrisolto. Con il suo racconto e le investigazioni, nonché le indagini di cui vedremo alcune parti, naturalmente, come ho già detto in precedente, direttamente da una trasmissione statunitense, ovviamente datata, ma comunque un documentario importante e interessante che sono sicuro vi piacerà e che darà comunque un contributo al mondo della questione paranormale legata agli alieni e ovviamente dei cosiddetti rapimenti o abduction, se preferite, e ovviamente tutte le tipologie di interazioni aliene. Vi conservo per la fine di questi 20 e passa minuti di documentario una chicca che riguarda indirettamente questo caso.
Craft that trailed airplanes and flew in erratic patterns over Charleston, South Carolina. On March 18th, he was out looking for these UFOs when a disc suddenly appeared. It swooped toward him, paralyzing him with a beam of blue light. When he regained consciousness 3 hours later, he was alone in a field 15 miles from home.
He and his wife were at home after supper one time when a neighbor lady came to the door to borrow a cup of sugar. And as his wife looked out over the neighbor lady's head, she saw the pinkish orange light, which she recognizes now too. She's seen it enough times, she knows what it is. It's Bill's friend. So he says, Bill, your friend is out here. And he came and looked. He says, by golly, it is. He said, I think I'll get my jacket and go out and take a better look at it. It was flying what they have now recognized as a peculiar triangular pattern along the power lines that run down the Ashley River there. And so he got his jacket on and binoculars, put them around his neck, and walked out the door in his little trailer park where his trailer home was parked, and across a shallow, nearly dry, damp ditch and up onto a railroad track that ran about 10 or 15 feet above the level of the trailer park. He got up on the track and started walking down the track, watching it flying these triangular patterns over the power lines ahead of him, probably 2 or 3 miles away, which is not in the air, that's not very far. And he had his binoculars out looking at the object. When it dropped out of the binoculars, it dropped like a stone. And he lowered the binoculars to see where it crashed, and he saw it just over the water of the Ashley River at water level. And he thought, oh my God, it's crashed right into the river. When at that point it approached it and filled the sky like that. And it came so fast and so big and so close, he shied back like that and caught his foot on the rail of the railroad track and began to fall. And he put his hands out to see what, there's a jagged rocks down there. You can get skinned up pretty good to see what he was falling on. And he noticed he was not falling. He was rising away from the rocks. And the reeds, tall grass was blowing away from him in waves. And he looked back, and he's above the railroad track, and he's going up in a blue beam of light.
I was about like this, just looking at it, and then I just fell backward like this. Yeah. And so at this point, I stopped falling. Oh, that's what I couldn't understand, because I like this, and then the light was all the way around me, and I went to push my hand through, and I couldn't. I couldn't move. Yeah, right at this spot. Because the object filled the area from that bush to that bush. It just filled the area. The light came from looked like it came from the edge. Mm-hmm. Didn't come. At first I thought it came from the bottom. But after the hypnosis and after the recall, I realized that it didn't come so much from the bottom as it did from the edge of the object. The rim, around the rim.
He said that the light felt like a low voltage electrical current, just like that, a cyclic tugging up the beam of light until, and he looked up, and it looked like it went into a cloud. The beam was so coherent, he put his arm out, and the arm went out of the beam, and he could pull it back in. It's in the beam again. It didn't touch anything going through. And he rose up, and when he got to the end of the cloud, he passed out and woke up on an examining table. And that's the time in between. He didn't remember anything. Of course, when he first came back, he didn't remember a whole lot of that either. That took time to develop the details by stressing his memory to get it.
First thing I remember looking at was this bar of lights flashing slowly above my head. Now this is what the bar of lights look like. Laying on a table, your head is up here, and you're looking up. You see blue, green, red, blue, green. Green, blue, red, green, blue. You know, back and forth. Flash, 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 flash. And it was doing this. And the slower this went, the more conscious I became. The more able to wake up and look around me. What I saw when I woke up, it's hard to really sometimes grasp, but it was like I thought in my mind there were doctors, or I'd been hurt. I was following I remembered the train tracks. I didn't remember the object as much as I remembered following the train tracks. And I remember falling, and I thought, oh, I must have broken my back. Somebody must have found me, and I'm in a hospital. You know, and all these thoughts were racing in my head until the three people that were standing there turned and looked at me. And I had noticed that before they had turned, they were looking at this bar of lights flashing on the ceiling, and they were looking at a box that seemed to be off to the side at my feet. And the box was connected to the bed. You could tell it was connected by wires to the bed I was laying on, or the table, or whatever it was. And when they turned and looked at me, it was like all kinds of emotions just surged to the surface at once. Now this is a sketch of what I believe I saw standing next to my bed, or a table, or whatever you want to call it. 4.5 feet tall, with a red garment, looked like a pullover jumpsuit, not pajamas, more military looking. And the eyes were spaced apart like ovals with circles inside, dark circles. And the occupant, when they told me to get up, and it was okay. I heard the voice, but I did not see the lips move. I heard it as clear as you hear my voice. You heard it in English? In English. It was in English. Yeah. Perfect English. Not accented, not deep, not high, just English. I felt afraid because I didn't know what was going on. I felt like this is totally foreign to everything I believe. What is going on here? Why am I here? What is this? All these thoughts going through my head, and all he could say was, "Don't be afraid." You know, it's like all my emotions and fears were just tossed aside by the comfort and assurance of what he said to me. Just, don't be afraid, have no fear, or something to that effect. Come, the time is limited, or something about like that.
Now more stories of alleged alien contact.
The object itself is like a round pancake shape with a dome on top and a dome on the bottom. Right. But it looked sealed in metal. In other words, you didn't see no windows and no holes and nothing. It moved in a circle above, I'd say about 800 to 1,000, maybe 1,500 feet above the ground. And it moved in not as obvious triangles, but kind of in a flowing, graceful, dynamical fashion. I mean, just sliding across the sky, you know. Not doing anything that would give it an impression that it would lose control. In spite of its erratic behavior, you could tell it was in total control of itself. I mean, there was just, it was the most one of the most beautiful displays of aerodynamics I've ever seen, as far as being involved in this subject.
So you tried to take a picture?
I tried. The first shot, I believe the first shot I took came out empty.
Panel and sat him down in one of the seats. His escort, who is speaking to him in his language, he hears it in his language, he hears it in his ears, just like surround sound. And he tells him, look, and they pointed to the screen, and another ship just like the one they were in joined them. And then the two ships went rapidly, again, south over continents, or over countries and continents, topography, geography changing, just like it's unrolling rapidly. And they approached ground again, the surface, down over Argentina. They took him to an underwater facility in the Rio Sal, which runs out of a big freshwater lake, a big lake in northern Argentina. And the river runs through Santa Fe, a little town, not such a little town, big town of Santa Fe. And his escort standing beside him. Now, the escort's not buckled into anything. He's just standing there, and Herrmann is sitting in a seat, but he's not fastened in either. And the craft he's in tilts down at an angle and goes into the water and goes under the water. And there's no inertial change to him. He feels no inertial changes, and his partner's still standing there beside him. And the partner touches him on the shoulder and says, "We were observed over Santa Fe. There'll be reports in the paper tomorrow about UFOs." And they went to the underwater facility, and the being explained to him that they installed this facility to carry out certain hydrodynamic tests in our water because our water was different from their water.
On the way back, they showed me the reactions of people observing your craft. And he said, "Walk over here." And I walked up to looked like a cross between an open window and a television set. It looked like a TV in that it was like this, but it looked like an open window that I could just stick my hand through it, is what it looked like. And I looked through the monitor, and you could see there was a road, there was trees on both sides of the road, and it looked like an orange grove or some kind of big field. And there was a road running adjacent to it. And there was two cars pulled over. One was a Pinto station wagon, a Ford Pinto station wagon, and the other one was a Buick Electra. And there was a lady in the Pinto, and there was a man in the Buick. And the lady was standing outside the passenger door looking up like this. And the man was just standing there like this. And I'm standing inside this object looking at that, and it was like it zoomed up on the people. And he says, "Now watch what happens." The one that was next to me, he said, "Watch what happens when we move closer." The minute he said that, you saw the girl. It seemed illogical, but you could tell it was out of fear. She ran around the front of her car and jumped in the passenger side, reached over there and locked her door. The man standing up, he just calmly, looked like he was trying to keep his cool, just sat down and got in the car and locked the door. Now, he says, "Now watch her. She's going to hold the lockdown." And the only indication of any hostility was what he said next when he says, "A foolish gesture if we wish to direct observe."
After the examination and they're escorting around the ship, as they're starting to walk through the ship, his host, his guide, said that they would like him. He said, "I wonder if you could make some arrangement with your government to release a damaged vehicle and one of our damaged ships and the bodies of our people." And he said, "Oh, I don't have any connections like that. There's nothing I can do for you there. I don't know anybody. I don't have any, I'm a nobody. There's no way I can help you." He said, "Why don't you do it yourself?" And the alien said, "We have tried." They said, "We sent an emissary to try to negotiate a release. They tried to capture the emissary. He successfully escaped, got in his ship and took off. They tried to shoot the ship down." He said, they're too hostile. We can't deal with them. We're looking for another way. And he said, "Well, how did they crash anyway?" And they told him that they were lost in the western part of your land, they said in quotes, and that the first one they lost was a big surprise to them. And then they noticed that there was a beam, an energy beam being transmitted in the area there, and they thought that it was a new weapon that we had used against them. And when they lost the second one, they became very concerned because they think we're shooting them down, and they had even gone to the trouble of contacting other associated space traveling intelligences to consult with them on the nature retaliation should take for our hostile actions. And while they were doing this, they noticed that the beam continued to operate, that the weapon continued to fire and was running in a circle for, when it was running, and it wasn't aimed at anybody. And they decided that it was not a weapon. It wasn't what they thought it was. They calculated, though, that the ships went out of control when that beam locked on the ship, on the craft, and stayed on for 90 seconds or more. The computer control system would burn out and it'd go into automatic emergency landing mode. And they didn't have any control of it at all. And they devised a form of shielding, and changed their flight pattern to this sharp angular change in direction that Herrmann was reporting, so that the radar could not lock on and stay on for 90 seconds or more. It couldn't stay on for more than 2 or 3 seconds. And they didn't lose any more ships after that.
Oh, oh no. Calm. When I put my hand on you, when I put my hand on you, you'll calm down. For you to move your time to the point where they release you, just a few minutes right before they release you. Now what happens? We're walking down the hall. We've left the place where the propulsion was. The big round balls. We went in a little closet, some kind of little room. We walked back up, like a diagonal hallway, into a little closet. And the door behind us shuts and the one in front of us opens. But when you step into it, you don't see no door. It's like the seamless or something. You can't even tell it's there until it opens. The one tells me that the time has arrived. Something about the time has arrived. That they're sorry for the stress that's going to result from our release. But those sympathetic to my experience will help, although the majority will reject it. They say we're going to meet again. That's what he said. We will meet again. He motioned me on the table, and the minute I touched the table, the light on the ceiling starts to flash. First slowly, and then fast. And as I lay down, they step back from the table. Did they place any restraints on you? I just lay on the table. The other one, he walks to the table and he's putting the binoculars around my neck. He must have had the binoculars the entire time. The lights flashing and they're standing there. Oh. Wait a minute. Huh? I'm looking down at my feet. There's a glow at my feet. I look up slowly in days. Oh, oh no. Calm down. Calm. When I put my hand on you, when I put my hand on you, you'll calm down. You're looking at a television set. You're looking at a television set. You're watching this on a television set. You are watching this story on a television set. Look at the television set. Running. Look at the television set. Describe what's happening on the television set. The object is leaving. It's going up. How did that thing move? It's going triangle. There it is again. You're watching it on a television set? It's going to the left. You're all right. Oh my God, where am I? Where's the tracks? Oh, God. Daddy. Bill, look at the television set. Look at the picture on the television set. Now look at the picture on the television set. Look. Look at the picture on the television set. You are calm. You are watching a rerun. You are watching a rerun. You are calm. Now describe to me what you are watching. You experience no panic, but you see in great detail. You are watching a picture.
I'm trying to get back to that orange yellowish orange mark. It's the only place I'm safe. What's that? I hear something. There's nothing there. The object's gone. Where am I? What time is it? Day is it? I can't get your head on straight. Hide our death in our soul creation. Separate us from the love of God in Christ Jesus. For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son. God, get a hold of yourself. Relax. Calm down. Relax. It's over with, Bill.
Bill, look at the picture on the television set. You are watching a rerun of what happened to you. You have already experienced those emotions. You don't have to do it again. You don't have to experience panic again.
Okay. There. What's that? A car. There it goes. I gotta get out there. Do you want to go or don't? I'm going. It's now or never. I'll be here forever if I don't move. Lord, give me strength. I'm going now. I'm running. Tearing through the bush. Stairs. I'm on a road. Oh, thank glory to the road. Highway. Street. There. There. Yes. Hey. The car come. The car come. Hey. Hey. Stop. Stop. Thank God you're here.
Allora, naturalmente quello che abbiamo visto è uno stralcio di quella che è l'ipnosi regressiva, poi probabilmente ce ne sono state altre che non sono state rese pubbliche. Sicuramente siamo davanti ad un caso abbastanza importante e sicuramente significativo quello che è stato detto all'interno del documentario, ma anche i disegni che sono stati mostrati, le ricostruzioni dettagliatissime dei fatti vissuti da William Herrmann. Naturalmente in questa vicenda emergono una serie di particolari molto interessanti che riguardano innanzitutto il corpo degli alieni, che non sono i classici grigi, sono una delle altre razze meno conosciute e che in questo caso mostrano i loro veri occhi, cioè i loro occhi senza quelle schermature nere che siamo abituati a vedere in linea di massima, e quindi ci mostrano delle vere e proprie pupille. Le caratteristiche di questi alieni sono abbastanza particolari e ricordano altri eventi di abduction sia negli Stati Uniti che altrove, e casi famosi che naturalmente non accennerò, ma a suo tempo discuterò qui sul canale con dei nuovi video. Una delle caratteristiche sono queste tute rosse che vengono descritte, che sono differenti da quelle canoniche grigie che fanno sembrare questi extraterrestri nudi sostanzialmente, ma anche da quelle blu o dal colore anche canonico della pelle, del grigio, che in questo caso è un grigio più chiaro, più vicino al bianco. Le pupille sono scure, quasi nere o nere, e le caratteristiche di questi umanoidi sono maggiore robustezza rispetto ai classici grigi e lineamenti più squadrati, meno, diciamo, insettoidi, a forma di cuore, eccetera, così come sono tipici dei grigi. Ci sono dei particolari raccontati e illustrati di questo caso che sono davvero molto importanti, al mio avviso almeno, come quello delle luci colorate, dei comandi all'interno di questa sorta di console con queste luci intense che lui è costretto a guardare, e naturalmente a questo schermo bombato che sa un po' di antico, ma che in effetti potrebbe dare più un senso di tridimensionalità alle immagini. Una finestra verso il passato, ma che in realtà non riceve a livello solo di immagini e schermo come ci aspettiamo, ma proprio a livello mentale. Anzi, è questo l'aspetto più importante che avevo già accennato all'inizio, e che riguarda visioni del passato, visioni di altri mondi e anche di altri addotti, dei momenti in cui questi vengono prelevati, eccetera. Ma la cosa che mi interessa di più andare a scovare sono queste luci blu, verdi e rosse, tre colori che sono ricorrenti nella documentazione declassificata dalla CIA, dalla Central Intelligence Agency, grazie al sito Black Vault negli anni, dove possiamo trovare interi memorandum, documenti di centinaia di pagine, a centinaia se non forse a migliaia, che ci raccontano delle storie che riguardano proprio gli studi dei servizi segreti statunitensi, ereditati in parte dal governo nazista della Germania nella seconda guerra mondiale, attraverso l'operazione Paperclip, e quindi l'introduzione sul suolo americano di quegli scienziati che vengono reclutati dalle agenzie statunitensi e che portarono avanti progetti come il Monarch, l'MK Ultra, eccetera, che riguardano proprio il controllo della mente. E attraverso questa manipolazione della mente, l'instillazione di falsi ricordi, di false visioni, eccetera, eccetera, e viene citato tra i metodi più efficaci, più utilizzati di controllo e manipolazione della mente, i flash fatti con un certo ritmo, una certa frequenza, proprio di colori blu, verde e rosso. Vi avevo promesso inoltre una chicca, qualcosa che riguarda indirettamente il caso di William Herrmann. C'è una stranissima storia parallela a quella del noto addotto. Infatti nel 1977, lo stesso anno dell'Abduction di William Herrmann, un altro William Herrmann viene rapito in un'altra parte degli Stati Uniti. Ma questa volta si tratta di un bambino di 5 anni che sparisce per 2 giorni e che apre una vicenda che dura diverse settimane, con interventi delle forze di polizia e quant'altro che aprono a livello nazionale, addirittura quindi coinvolgendo la Federal Bureau Investigation, l'FBI, a tutto spiano. Non riuscirono mai a scoprire le vere dinamiche e cosa c'era dietro la sparizione di 2 giorni di questo bambino, che potremmo in qualche modo collegare al missing 411 che abbiamo discusso in una live apposita con il collega ricercatore Umberto Visani, che se vi siete persi vi invito a vedere. Le indagini su questo secondo caso, almeno all'inizio, furono caratterizzate da un grande impegno, un grande sforzo da parte di tutte le forze dell'ordine. Le ricerche coinvolsero anche civili che portarono a cercare questo bambino sparito ovunque, ma le difficoltà nel raccogliere prove concrete, testimonianze utili, persino da parte del bambino stesso, portarono a diversi giorni e settimane di ricerche sul campo di prove. E dopo i 2 giorni di rapimento sembravano tutte quante vicoli ciechi. Il tutto, infine, si trasformò in un caso irrisolto che lasciò una ferita profonda nella famiglia, nella comunità, che in qualche modo intervenne, interagì nella situazione fino a produrre dei cambiamenti delle leggi proprio nei sequestri dei bambini, nelle sparizioni e nelle investigazioni su questi casi. Non c'è assolutamente una connessione con il caso precedente, ma sicuramente è stranissimo che lo stesso anno 2 persone, 2 individui diversi vengono rapiti nello stesso anno con lo stesso nome e lo stesso cognome, anche se un adulto e un bambino, che il primo venga rapito dagli alieni e che del secondo le indagini ad oggi sono ancora aperte e non hanno portato ad alcun risultato. Naturalmente iscrivetevi al canale se non l'avete ancora fatto, attivate il campanello per le notifiche, ovviamente lasciatemi il like al video e se ne avete voglia e volete aiutare il canale non solo lo potete fare con i super grazie e quant'altro, ma anche con il like, l'iscrizione, l'abbonamento e ovviamente la condivisione dei video. Ci vediamo alla prossima, ciao a tutti.